Hello, everyone, and welcome to my presentation of why Bruno Fernandes is the best attacking midfielder in the Premier League. Okay, have you ever watched a player and felt like everything good his team does starts with him? For Manchester United, that player is Bruno Fernandes. Now, before I get into it, I just want to say that I have played soccer all my life, so I do know what I'm talking about. Um, FRC men's soccer team here on campus, I am a part of that team. I've also represented my state back home, state of New South Wales. I also have some things that you guys can take from the speech, whoever's going to be watching, apart from the markers. You'll learn to appreciate this player and the position for what it is, and the fundamentals of it, and how he plays and how he is as a player for Manchester United. Okay, so nonetheless, here we go. So now, I know this is a big claim because the Premier League, the English Premier League, has had some amazing attacking midfielders, like the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, as you can see on the screen, Martin Odegaard, Cole Palmer, and the man himself, Bruno Fernandes. But today, I want to argue personally, Bruno Fernandes, the person on the left side of your screen, is the best attacking midfielder in the Premier League today. And I'm not just going to say that because he scores goals or because I like watching him play. I'm saying it because of his creativity, his consistency, his leadership, his work rate, and how much responsibility personally and individually this man takes on carrying Manchester United football team. Okay. So first, Bruno is one of the most creative players in the league. The main job of an attacking midfielder is that you can create chances. That is literally what the position is built for. You are supposed to connect the midfield to the attack, find the final pass, and help your team score goals. Bruno does that constantly. He is always looking for the pass that breaks the defense. Sometimes it's a through ball, sometimes it's a cross, sometimes it's a long ball over the top. Sometimes it's a quick one-touch pass that completely changes the play. And yeah, sometimes he loses the ball, but that is because he actually takes risks. As you can see in this photo here, that circle and that person standing right behind that line of four, like in the red dot, is where Bruno will mainly be situated in the half space. So what I mean by half space is it's a little gap where an attacking midfielder can be in between defenders and the midfield, where he can basically breach that line and receive the ball and then play a creative pass forward for their teammates, like the striker right behind him, the left winger who's on the left side of the field, on the widest areas of the field, and the right winger right there. So his job is to basically get that ball in that half space and play them forward to create a scoring opportunity, which will be known as an assist if the player scores. Bruno does this magnificently, and here is my point. Okay, so I have some examples. So on the left here, it's a bit blurry, and I'm sorry about that. Bruno is talking to Mason Mount, a player, a companion of Bruno, also an attacking midfielder who's got a very good right foot on him. So as you'll see in the photo, Bruno is approaching the ball, and in a post-game interview, he actually says to the people, an interviewer asks him a question. He's like, "Oh, so did you know that Bruno was going to set you the ball in front of you before that he played it?" And Bruno apparently said nothing to him. Here's why this is magnificent. So the four players right in front that are situated in the wall right in front, they're all looking at Bruno and Mount, all looking at their mannerisms, their communication, what are they saying to each other, and how is this going to influence possibly a scoring opportunity against their team. Bruno knows that they're watching him, and he subconsciously makes a decision, and he knows that Mason Mount's going to be in the same wavelength as them to basically set Mason Mount the ball. So you can see the ball on the left side of the image there. He's standing on it. He stands completely still and he looks directly at the goal, not at anyone, and basically catches Crystal Palace off guard. I can't show a video clip. I wish I could, but he sets the ball to basically the right side of Mount without anyone knowing. Not even Mount knew, the player that's standing right next to Bruno right there. Not even Mason Mount knew that he would get set that ball, but Bruno knew in his head that he would be able to have a good enough of a right foot to place it in the bottom right corner. And what happened was he played it, he caught Crystal Palace off guard, he got an assist, and also it was an unreal finish from an unreal player who knew that the team would be able to be caught off guard from that. That's something that not a normal footballer would think about. And that's exactly why I'm here today talking to you and making this case of why he is the best player in the world in terms of an attacking midfielder in the Premier League. The second clip on the right here, we have a clip from, it's very, very blurry, but you'll see there's a little circle which is highlighting number 8 is Bruno, the player that I'm making the case of about. To the left of him is the player there. So he passes the ball from midfield to Bruno. The player behind Bruno thinks, and everyone in the opposing team thinks that Bruno's going to receive that ball, but he's checked his shoulder. And in checking his shoulder, he's known that that player right there in the orange boots is actually running across field, across that back line. So that player closest to that D shape right there, he knows that that player is basically running onside. So Bruno leaves the ball, completely just leaves the ball, just stands there and lets the ball run past him. The trajectory of that ball is exactly as it looks, perfectly weighted, and he realizes that. So he let the ball run. Brian Mbuemo is the player, our striker. He let the ball run. Brian ran onto the ball and he scored with his left foot. That is something you simply can't teach. And that is why he is one of the best, if not the best. No, he's the best Premier League attacking midfielder at the moment. Okay, on to my next case. Safe passes do not win games. Dangerous passes do. This is what Bruno does differently. He does not just make sideways passes to keep his stats clean. He tries to create something. He tries to make the big play. And when it works, it can completely change a game. Second, Bruno's numbers are completely ridiculous for a midfielder. A lot of midfielders are praised because they look smooth on the ball, because they control the tempo of the game, and that is important. But Bruno gives you actual end product. He scores goals, he gets assists, he creates chances, he takes penalties, he takes free kicks, and he makes that final pass. That is very rare. For a midfielder to be that involved in goals and assists every season is impressive. Most players have one good year and then fall off. Bruno has been doing it consistently since he started at Manchester United. Now, to base it on an image again and to show you guys proof, here are screenshots on the bottom right, this right-sided image of game ratings from statistical analysis people that analyze games and give players game ratings. So if you get above an 8.0 game rating every single game, that is considered potentially a man of the match rating, a very good game for a player. In one season, Bruno has had, I think it's around 25 to 30 of those performances out of 40 games in the Premier League for Manchester United. Those numbers are something you simply don't see normally. You do not see those numbers normally. And this is why I'm here telling you guys about this special case of this special player, because he's unreal. And that is a part of the greatness, consistency. Anyone can have a good month, like anyone can have a good year. And I've seen this, I've watched football all my life. Anyone can have a good game. But doing it year after year under pressure at one of the biggest clubs in the world is different. He's been under pressure consistently. As a captain, he's taken the armband on the head and he has done magnificently. Bruno does that in a team that has also not been perfect. As someone who supported United, this is honestly one of the biggest reasons why I respect him so much. Some great players are surrounded by a perfect system. They play in teams that dominate possession. They create tons of chances and make life easier for them. Bruno has not always had that at all. Manchester United has had injuries, it's had coaching changes, and seasons where the team did not look organized at all as an 11. But even through all that, Bruno still shows up and tries to make things happen, giving his all, running back to the back side of the field, running to the front side of the field, trying to make chances, trying to defend for his team. A lot of the time, he is not just a part of the attack. I mean, just look at these stats. They speak for themselves. I mean, most people in America, they look at stats all the time. Then you look at these and you just think, wow, 8 goals and 7 assists in his first season with 15 games. So that means he's averaging a goal or assist every single game of the calendar year that he played in his first season for Manchester United. Not only that, but he's consistently put up 6.5 to 7 assists every single season that he's played for the club. And on top of that, even though the club we finished 16th, 15th, uh six, which for Manchester United as being a huge top club in Europe is horrible. And we haven't got it right with coaches. We haven't basically been given this guy the right system to perform, and yet he still performs. I remember one year he was playing as a holding midfielder, and even though he's not in that attacking role that he wants to play, he still defended for the team and he created chances on top of that. What more can you want from this player? He is unreal and a top player. Consistency is this guy. Okay. When United need a goal, Bruno is usually the one demanding the ball. He is the one trying to pass. He is the one pressing. He is the one taking responsibility. And that matters because it is easy to look good when everything around you is working. It is so much harder to keep producing when your team is struggling. And Bruno works that hard. Some attacking players only look good when the team has the ball at their feet. When they lose it, they might disappear. You could say that about the likes of De Bruyne, the likes of Martin Odegaard, the likes of Cole Palmer, who are all just strictly attacking players. But Bruno does not do that. He does both. He presses, he tracks back, he argues for every call. He runs all over the field. He plays with emotion. Sometimes people criticize that, but honestly, I think that that shows how much he cares about this club and the crest that he wears on his chest. He is not standing around waiting for the ball. He is involved in simply everything. And in modern soccer, that matters. You cannot be just talented anymore. You have to work. You have to defend. You have to press. You have to help the team even when you are not scoring or assisting. Bruno does that. Bruno is the leader. Being the captain of Manchester United is not easy. The club comes with so much pressure every single week. Every mistake gets talked about, and I mean every mistake. Every bad game becomes a headline. Every player is judged harshly, but Bruno does never hide. He never hides. Even when United are playing badly, he still wants the ball. He still takes responsibility and he still tries to create. He still acts like the game is not over. That is true leadership. Not every leader is calm and quiet. Some leaders are intense. Some leaders are emotional. Some leaders demand more from the people around them. That is Bruno. Now, I understand that some people may disagree with me, but people have to understand that there is a big thesis and an argument here that people can come to conclusions with, and that he is king. He is. So when I say Bruno Fernandes is the best attacking midfielder in the Premier League, I'm not just saying it because he plays for Manchester United. And I love Manchester United so much, but I'm saying it because he creates chances at an elite level. And I've shown you guys that. He produces like a forward. I've shown you guys those stats, and they're unreal. He leads one of the biggest clubs in the world. He works hard on both sides of the ball, and he keeps performing even when the team around him isn't being consistent. To me, this is what separates a good player from a great player. Bruno Fernandes is not just one of the best attacking midfielders in the Premier League right now. He is building a legacy as one of the best attacking midfielders the Premier League has ever seen. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed watching this.